Good afternoon, everybody. Today I will be talking about epilepsy, what it is, how it affects the brain in daily life, and why understanding it is so important for us as future OTs. Epilepsy is a neurological condition characterized by episodes of hypersynchronous neuronal firing. In simpler terms, large groups of neurons begin firing together when they shouldn't, and this sudden burst of abnormal activity disrupts normal brain function. What's fascinating is that epilepsy doesn't come from just one part of the brain. Instead, it involves a network of cortical and subcortical structures working or misfiring together. Research, including work by Mirsky in 1993, shows that several key brain regions play major roles. The temporal lobe, especially the hippocampus and the amygdala, is the most common site of focal seizures. The mammillary bodies and posterior hypothalamus may help propagate seizure activity, acting almost like relay stations. The thalamus is essential in spreading seizures throughout the brain, while the frontal lobe contributes to motor and behavioral symptoms. Even the brain stem and reticular formation is involved, especially in generalized seizures. When these areas are disrupted, we can see changes in motor control, sensation, language, awareness, and emotional regulation. The limbic system may trigger fear or emotional shifts, and thalamocortical circuits, responsible for consciousness, can also be affected. All of this helps explain why seizures can look so different from person to person. Now, let's talk about what causes epilepsy and how it progresses. Epilepsy has many possible origins. Some cases are genetic, while others stem from cortical malformations, perinatal injuries, traumatic brain injuries, strokes, tumors, infections, or autoimmune disorders. The course of epilepsy varies widely. Some children outgrow their seizures while others develop chronic epilepsy. About 30% of individuals, which I found crazy, have drug-resistant epilepsy, meaning medications alone aren't enough to control their seizures. Across the lifespan, epilepsy presents with difficult challenges. Infants may face developmental delays, children often struggle with learning or behavioral issues, adults may encounter employment barriers or driving restrictions, and in older adults, seizures are often secondary to other conditions, like strokes. Clinically, epilepsy can present in several ways. Focal seizures may involve an aura, repetitive movements, or changes in awareness. Generalized seizures can include tonic-clonic movements, absent episodes, or myoclonic jerks. After a seizure, individuals may experience confusion, fatigue, headaches, or temporary weakness. From an occupational therapy perspective, we can also see impacts on performance skills and client factors. Motor coordination may be impaired. Cognitive processes like attention, memory, and sequencing can also be disrupted. Social participation may decline due to the anxiety or stigma from this disease. And emotional regulation may be affected, especially when seizures are unpredictable. Epilepsy is far from rare. About 50 million people worldwide live with this condition, and the highest rates appearing in early childhood and older adulthood. This effect ripples into education, employment, independence, and overall psychosocial well-being. My best friend has epilepsy and struggles with it every single day, although it's managed with medication. Because of these challenges, safety is a major priority in OT practice. During a seizure, we protect the head, clear the area, and roll the person on their side and time the event. We never restrain them. We also consider these environmental risks, such as avoiding heights, open water, hot surfaces, or sharp objects without supervision. Activities that cause fatigue, overheating, or exposure to flashing lights need modification, and we must be mindful of medication side effects like dizziness or cognitive slowing. Again, both symptoms I've seen with my best friend with epilepsy. To guide our interventions, we rely on validated assessments, tools such as the mini mental state examination, the trail making test part B, the motor free visual perception test, and the useful field of view helps us evaluate cognitive and perceptual skills. Quality of life measures and self-management skills can also help us understand how epilepsy affects daily functioning and personal confidence. Now, let's look at how epilepsy affects specific activities of daily living, bringing it all back to occupational therapy. The first one we're going to focus on is bathing and showering. This is one of the highest risk ADLs for someone with epilepsy. The wet, slippery surfaces increase the chance of falls, especially if a seizure occurs. Confusion or weakness can make it difficult to safely complete this task. Fatigue or sensory auras may also interfere. Because of this, individuals may require supervision or adaptive equipment like shower chairs or grab bars. The bathroom is the number one place that people fall, so having epilepsy does not help. Second, meal preparation and eating. Cooking requires sequencing, attention, and problem solving, skills that may be impaired. Heat, knives, and open flames pose obvious dangers if a seizure occurs. Medication-related cognitive slowing can make multitasking difficult, and as a result, individuals may need simplified routines, adaptive appliances, or support from caregivers. Third, community mobility. Navigating this community safely requires awareness, motor stability, and quick decision-making. Slowed processing or confusion can make this very challenging. Many individuals face driving restrictions, which significantly impacts independence, depending on where you're at with epilepsy. Even walking in busy environments can be risky if awareness fluctuates or balance is affected. As occupational therapists, our role is to understand these neurological underpinnings, recognize how they translate into functional challenges, and design interventions that support the safety, independence, and quality of life of our client. Epilepsy is complex, but with the right knowledge and tools, we can make a meaningful difference in the lives of those who live with it. Thank you.